Now we're continuing with part 3 of What's the Deal with the Prodigal Son. Well, welcome back. Continuing now with the prodigal son. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. Now try to imagine this scene 2,000 years ago. The father wouldn't have been wearing his designer jogging sweats or his Nike running shoes. No, he'd be wearing a long flowing robe and sandals. Running in a long robe would have been all but impossible. He would have had to hike up his robe and expose his bare legs. Now this paints a very undignified image of a respected elder, and it would have been totally unacceptable and simply not done in ancient Israel. The audience that Jesus is talking to, upon hearing about a distinguished and respected leader of a community behaving in this manner, well, they may well have let out an audible gasp. But here's a little something you may have never heard about. It's an ancient Jewish tradition. It's called the ceremony of Kezazah. Now in Hebrew, it means a severing of connections, or literally a cutting off. Now this ceremony was done when a Jewish man left the community, went and lived with the Gentiles, and then lost everything he had. Then if he tried to come back to the community, the older men of the settlement would throw down a large pot and smash it in front of the man, which symbolized the broken relationship that now existed between the community and him. He would never have been allowed to return. This act separated him from his family and his community and his faith forever. According to the ceremony of Kezazah, the father of the loser would stay at home, emotionally removed from the ceremony. He would not be allowed to hear what his son had to say for himself. The mother, on the other hand, well, she could come to the ceremony and beg for mercy, but not Pop. So the prodigal's father broke several huge social customs. He ran, he showed his legs, and he forgave before the ceremony of Kezazah could be done. Again, the Jewish audience that Jesus was talking to would have full knowledge and understanding of these traditions. But how many understand that this is what our Heavenly Father does for us? He goes ahead of us so that we don't suffer the shame and the humiliation that we deserve. Now the son said to him, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you." He's broken the rules of the community and done the unthinkable, losing all of his inheritance to the Gentiles. And he knows that Kezazah ceremony awaits him unless he can find a paying job and recoup the money that he's lost. So the prodigal hired himself out to a pig farmer to feed swine, but he is treated so poorly that he's about to starve to death. Now looky here, by going to the Gentile country and working for a Gentile, feeding his pigs, well, Jesus is telling his listeners that this fella has just about gone as far away from his family and God as he can possibly get. So the younger son sees no other option than to go home and ask for employment as a hired hand working for his father. Continuing now, "I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father said to his servants, "Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead, and he's alive again. He was lost, but now is found." So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field, and when he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked him what was going on. "Well, your brother has come home," he replied, "and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound." Now the older brother became angry. He refused to go in the house. Well, just wait till Pop hears about this, which is just what you'll have to do, because this ends part 3 of What's the Deal with the Prodigal Son. Now catch part 4 next Wednesday. The story itself will be completed, but the lessons, well, they're just warming up. So till next time, remember, We're all on this together, and I'm pulling for you. May God bless you and keep you safe. And don't forget free stuff. You suggest a topic, you get any of these.